Hello, everybody, and welcome to Locked On Flames. I'm your host, Jess Belmosto, and today's episode is a game preview with Zach from Couch Guy Sports, and I'm very excited to have him back on the show because, Zach, you were on the show a while ago, right?
So much as well. First of all, Jess, thank you for having me on again.
Of
It was
course.
fun last time, but yeah, so much has happened. Like just with not even Sabres, just like everything in hockey, the world. So much has
Yeah,
happened since the last time we talked.
absolutely. And we'll cover, well, not all of it today, but a good portion of that today on today's show. So stick around.
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, everyone. It is a cold and dreary, actually, it's really not that cold out. It's just a rainy, dreary Thursday here. Zach, what's it looking like in Buffalo?
Well, as you can see behind me, it's still a little cloudy. It's windy outside. It was like nice and in the 60s yesterday, and now it's like fall again. So, welcome to Buffalo, where it's one day it's 60 and sunny, next day it's 30 and snowy.
Oh, yes, gotta love it.
No,
So, a lot has happened for the Sabres since the last time we talked. You always teased me saying that, Matthew Tkachuk and Johnny Gaudreau were, future Sabres. And for a minute, you might have almost had one. So what was your reaction when you heard those trade rumors?
You know what, Josh? It's such a 50-50 thing. Like, oh my God, the stupid. It's been like what, like 6 or 7 long months with this whole Eichel situation. Like,
Mhm.
I don't think there wasn't a Sabres fan here in Buffalo or in general that knew he wasn't going to get into next season. I think all that was gone just because it just seemed like it was time to move on. I mean,
Right.
and then just like the stuff with the surgery, the all the other crap that's been going on. So when I saw the rumor from Kevin Weeks about Matthew Kachuk, I was really thrilled. Matthew Kachuk is such like a special player. He has grit and he can also score goals. And if you watch the Sabres, they have no grit whatsoever. They
Mhm.
the last guy who had grit was Rasmus Ristolainen, and now he's in Philadelphia. But like they haven't had like an enforcer like him for a long time. Maybe like Patrick Kaleta, maybe that long ago. So, and he's still young too. I didn't realize how young he was until I looked him up. He's still a young man. So
Yeah, he's younger than me.
I know I joke with my parents like these guys are playing NHL, and here I am being a retail associate, and no, we're not gonna get
Literally.
into that. But anyways,
No, but that's me on this show when
yeah,
like I'm like reading the draft years and I'm like, "Oh, I was in kindergarten when you were born."
yeah,
That's
it's crazy like these guys
great.
like McDavid and all that. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I wanted a goal to go out west too. Like I didn't want him going to the Rangers. God forbid going to the Bruins. Anyone, anyone. But about Vegas, like yeah, I wish we would have gotten Kachuk or whatever, but I can't really complain about the deal itself with Vegas. Alex Stuck is still a solid player to get, and then Peyton Krebs is really doing good in the AHL right now. So, as much as I wanted your boy Matthew, I'm at the settle for um, what's
Second
their name?
best. It's
Yeah,
fine. It's
Tuck and
okay.
Krebs. But no, like I said, I mean it sucks losing Jack Eichel. I'm not. I don't think I've really met a fan who doesn't want a top five player when healthy on his team or her team for that
Exactly.
matter. But it was just time to move on, and I'm glad that it got over with. We just finally move on now. I'm glad he got his surgery that he wanted, and I'm sure he can't wait to get back on the ice in February or whenever that might be.
Oh, for sure. And I think for those of you who don't follow Zach on Twitter, first of all, what are you doing?
Yeah,
You
thank
should be
you.
following him. Um, but you're not someone who feeds into the drama and the rumors. You're like, okay, I'm gonna like just tweet this, put my phone down, and come back in a few
Yeah,
hours. I'll be
pretty much.
back. I wish I had that because I am like the exact opposite. I was going to say tweeting and driving. I don't tweet and drive. That was a horrible.
Yeah.
Please don't tweet and drive.
Don't do that.
But like I'll be like walking into work, like spouting off, and I'm like, oh, this is so going to happen.
Yeah.
No, just put your phone down.
Like
You're very rational.
Even like before the the deal when Kevin Weeks tweeted about Kachuk, like we thought it was gonna be done before the draft, and we thought it was gonna be done in free agency, and it just kept on playing on and on and on. And then like I'm like at this point, like, okay, just get it over with. We know if you watch
Just
my
rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, just get it over with. Like I even told my buddy, for those of you who don't know, I do a YouTube channel with my buddy John. It's called the Blue and Gold Hockey Network, and each month we just talk about the Sabres and whatever. And we were just like, okay, number one, we know he's not going to be here next season, so we got to put all that doubt behind us. Number two, just get the whole stupid thing over with because it's just dragging on. I guarantee you the team is tired about hearing about the questions, so when the trade happened, they could finally move on. But like I said, I mean, it sucks losing Jack Eichel. He's such a great player, but the part of blame goes on the organization too because they did not build around him. You saw this team, or most of it at least, when I hate bringing up his name because he's on Boston now, but Taylor Hall. They signed Taylor Hall, and there was nothing good happened.
No chemistry there.
No, and it sucks because when you think Jack Eichel and a former MVP, that's a pretty good success. That's a pretty good combination right there. But they, like I said, it sucks, but they failed to build around him, and now it's just more like out with the old and with the new now. So like you got rid of Jack Eichel and Sam Reinhart. Now you have Rasmus Dahlin, Dylan Cousins, Jack Quinn eventually. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely glad that it's over with.
For sure. And I think, I don't know if you'll do this, but I know that you like your jerseys. Will you get a Golden Knights Eichel jersey?
No, I will not get anyone. I will not get anyone's team. I don't care if it's a conference rival or divisional rival, even someone in the Western Conference. I will not get a jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Respect.
I'm a Sabres fan to win. That's it. Unless like I get hired by another team for a job and then I have to get a jersey, then I will. But I don't plan on getting Eichel's jersey.
Okay.
I'm not like I don't.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
I'm not salty about the guy. I'm just glad it's over with.
Yeah, and I like you said, like it was bound to happen. But coming up next, we're going to talk about the Sabres overall and this kind of unexpected spark and star that they have in Dustin Tokarski and some more players to watch. So before we do that, though, I would like to talk to you guys about sports betting. When I host this show on the national show, it's always a really awkward segue into this because we're usually talking about something super heavy. So it's great to just not do that today. BetOnline AG probably had a prop about where Jack Eichel was going to land. And if you put your money on Vegas, well, congrats. BetOnline AG is your number one place for basketball and football betting. They have a new layout for their mobile and desktop website. So head on over to BetOnline AG today. Check that out. And of course, you're going to want to use promo code LOCKEDON to get 50% welcome bonus. Yes. Sign up today for your free account. Use promo code LOCKEDON when you make that first deposit to get your 50% welcome bonus. Locked On Flames continues. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Jess Belmosto. Okay, so yesterday I checked the standings in the Atlantic because I feel like the Bruins play like one game every like 3 weeks. So I never know what's going on. I never know what's going on. unless they play like the same day as the Flames. And then I'm like, oh, which has happened twice. So what has been going on with Buffalo? I think they're 5th or 6th in the Atlantic right now.
Like that. I mean, it's only the second month of the season. The season has already been a roller coaster. Just like we saw the last few years, they get off to a good start, except for last year, because we're not going to talk about last year. That was just so bad. We ain't going to talk
We don't
about
need to
that.
talk about that.
Yeah. But like in 2018, 2019, this team was first place in the division, not in the division and in the league. So, and then Jess, you have seen the two, unfortunately, right when November comes around,
It's
a goal.
yeah.
It's fine.
I
But
always say November is their weakness.
yeah, and it didn't start out well either.
No.
I'm trying to remember the schedule. So they went out to their Western Conference road trip. They lost on Halloween against the LA Kings despite having 2-0 lead. So they beat Anaheim in October, and then they lost to the Kings. And then they just played a terrible game against the Seattle Kraken. And then
Which is hard to do.
Yeah, it's a long road trip, so it's not going to be easy. And then they lost to San Jose as well. It didn't start out well in November, and then they just beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. They lost a heartbreaker to the Toronto Maple Leafs, even though they were losing 3-1 at one point or something
That
like that.
game was brutal.
Yeah, it was a terrible way to end the game. Well, okay, I'm trying to remember the schedule, but there's so many games and all that.
I'm impressed that you remember this many, to be quite honest.
I mean, I had to prepare myself somehow, so I had to like make sure it was in my mind.
Did you guys play Washington?
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, we
okay,
lost.
because I looked. Yeah, but there are some positives.
Yeah, and one of them is Dustin Tokarski, the goalie. Who will be starting tonight against Calgary, by the way.
Great.
Yeah.
For you,
Yeah,
not for the Flames.
I mean, Dustin. Who would have thought that Dustin Tokarski? First of all, I read a stat from Mike Harrington. I don't really remember that well, but it said if you take away Aaron Dell's game against the Toronto Maple Leafs, Anderson and Tokarski are in the top 10 when it comes to save percentage combined.
Wow.
And they are making $1.5 million average. So you think about it. If you would have told me that Craig Anderson and Dustin Tokarski would have been a really good goalie tandem, I would have laughed at you because especially with the Sabres offseason, they really didn't do anything. No. They signed Mark Pesic, Will Butcher, Vinny Hinostroza, all these random guys, and all due respect to them, but
just players that aren't going to make that true difference in a team. Yeah. It's kind of like when the Flames go out and they spend $3 million on bottom pairing defensemen or the league minimum on bottom 6 players, and you're like, oh my God, why didn't we get better?
Yeah.
I wonder what the correlation could be.
But I remember Kevin Adams, the general manager, saying that he wanted the younger guys to get more playing experience, which makes sense. I mean, they're going to be your future, so you want them to, get that experience. But you look down in Rochester with the American Hockey League team for the Sabres, and they have Jack Quinn, Peyton Krebs, JJ Peterka, who's been a really good prospect for us so far. All these guys that are in the pipeline. And the old regime would have just brought them in, wasted their career. Now, obviously, when we drafted Eichel, he was ready to play. Obviously, that's a no-brainer to play him. But, these guys, Owen Power now, they didn't want to rush him. So it seems like Kevin Adams is doing a rebuild, but he wants to do it right this time. He doesn't want to mess it up like they did with Tim Murray and Jason Botterill. But going back to the Jakarski, it's just crazy because he's a career backup goaltender, and he's playing on the Buffalo Sabres, who are not known to have a good defense. And that Pittsburgh game, oh my God, what a ride it was. It was a solid first period, 0-0. Sabres scored 2 goals in the second period. Okay, you're feeling good. Then we get to the third period, and the Sabres, I'm not kidding you, Jess, the Sabres have, in that third period by itself, 3 shots on goal all period long. 3 shots. And
You're
Pittsburgh
lying.
Penguins had 20 shots on goal that period. And if it wasn't for Dustin Tokarski, we don't win that game.
No.
But they have this issue too of like playing good, but they're not playing full 60. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
Oh, you're preaching to the choir. You are. I yell about that every day on this show. And my thing is, they finally got to the point where they can like have energy in the second period, but it's like so much energy that they exhaust themselves. So
yeah.
maybe turning it down a notch
Mhm.
to sustain that for the final 20 would be a
Yeah.
little better. But
Yeah.
what do I know?
But like,
I just host a podcast.
hey, you watch the team, you know what you mean. So like, they have like a bad habit doing this. The Pittsburgh game wasn't the only example they did this. They did this against Tampa Bay Lightning, where played a good first period, I guess, and then they scored in the second period, but they were getting outshot 15-4 in the second period of that game. And then they played a salary period, obviously. But like, they gotta learn. And Don Granato, okay, so Jess, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Ever since Lindy Ruff got fired back in 2013, when this whole 1.0 rebuild number one started, they had Ted Nolan, Ron Rolston, Dan Bylsma, Phil Housley, and Ralph Kruger. All those coaches did not like. We knew it was gonna be rough, so we obviously were like, okay, they're just here to like steer the ship, get things right. But like Ralph Kruger, they would have won a game that they didn't play, deserved to win pretty much, and they would say good things. No, Don Granato was absolutely mad about that game last time, even though they won. If they won, but you're not going to win in the NHL when you're not playing a full 60. And
Exactly.
they're so consistent because they played a good game against Oilers, I think, when they beat them. But that bugaboo of that game was the penalty. And you do not want to give Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl 6 chances to score on a power play.
No, you don't want to give them any chances, to be
Yeah,
entirely honest.
You see them firsthand with them in the same division. So we're like lucky enough to see them twice. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we'll come back to this because so coming up next, we are going to talk about a few players to watch for each team and our predictions. So stay tuned. Locked on Flames continues. Don't forget to subscribe to the show wherever you get your favorite podcasts and YouTube. We're on YouTube, so tune in. All right. So I started doing this thing on Twitter. I did it twice, and then I stopped because I forgot of my players to watch during the game. And obviously, you're going to want to watch players like Matthew Tkachuk and the goaltender, whoever's in net, whatever. But for me going into this, it's going to be my first player. We'll do 2 each.
Mhm.
Okay. So my first player is going to be Oliver Shillington, just because he's on a roll offensively and defensively. And as a defenseman with a career high, I think it's 11 points now, can't go wrong there. He scored the only goal last game against Philadelphia. And then I think he scored the game before as well. So he's quite honestly on a tear. Who is your first player to watch?
I mean, this one's a no-brainer, Justin Jakarski. I want to see if he can. This is a good test for Tokarski again. The Penguins are struggling, but they still have a good team, I feel like. That's just my opinion. He faced the Edmonton Oilers and did really well against them. And as we know, the Oilers are the Oilers. They're really good. But now you got a good team in the Calgary Flames who are off to a good start. They're one of the hottest teams in the league, no pun intended. I want to see like how we can do against, and I want to be honest with you, Jess. I don't know the Flames like you, so I know like Johnny Tkachuk.
Johnny Tkachuk. It's okay.
Well,
Don't
both those
worry.
players now that pretty much combine them. But Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah.
Like I know those guys. I know Sean Monahan, but like I don't know like the depth players like you do. So, but like I said, the Flames are still a good team,
Yeah.
and we're Tokarski and the Sabres are going to have their hands full. So hopefully he doesn't have to face 20 shots in the third period again. But I feel good about Tokarski, and that's nothing. I'm
Okay.
not taking anything away from the Flames because I know how good of a team they are. But when you see him do well against the Edmonton Oilers, the Pittsburgh Penguins, these really good teams who have the Capitals. I know he didn't play as good as against Capitals, but still, that's not the point. So we'll see what happens. But Tokarski is my first guy I'm looking for.
Okay. I'm very worried about the Flames going up against him because they do not play well against against really good goaltenders, which we saw in Philadelphia. And I posted Dustin Tokarski's stats of his like 46 saves or 45 saves, whatever it was, against Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this isn't good. This is not what we want to see. But I think it's going to be a true test for them. And I would say my second player to watch is going to be I'm going to go with Johnny just because I am wearing his shirt, but also because he had a career high 10 shots on goal in his hometown, if you will. And, I think that he was hungry. He was absolutely starving, and he deserves a goal. He's due. Matthew Tkachuk, too. I think that entire top line with Elias
Johnny Tkachuk.
Lindholm. Yeah. Yeah, Johnny Tkachuk.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I'm interested to see how things go tonight.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So for my second guy, this is a tough one, but I feel good. This guy has, I think, as long if I tell the hints, I'm sure you're gonna pick up on it. This guy got traded to the Sabres a few years ago.
Okay.
He scored 40 goals that season. He got traded to the Sabres. He signed a massive contract extension.
Jeff Skinner.
Yeah, Jeff Skinner.
I
Jeff
love
Skinner's
Jeff
my guy.
Skinner.
And you know what? He's been really good this year. He's had like 4 goals. He's had a couple assists. I know it's nothing like crazy
It's not
numbers,
his
but
40-goal season, but
yeah. But like it took him like, I don't know, 30 games to get his second goal of the season, something like that. It was terrible. Like the game he got injured against the Islanders when Eichel got injured, that was the same day Skinner scored his first goal of the season. So, and that was like in March, April,
yeah.
something like
And
that.
the season started in January.
Yeah. So,
So that's
and
bad.
I tell people this all the time. Like last year, the last 2 years, you can't put all the blame on Skinner. You can put some of it. He can create his own chances and all that, but he's playing with guys who should be on a fourth liner in the AHL. Like he played
Right.
with Vladimir Saboka at one point during his time here in Buffalo. It was terrible. And now he's on a line with Tage Thompson and Rasmus Asplund, and those guys are having good years so far. So it's all about putting your talent. It's a cliche, but it's true. It's accurate. You put talent with the talent, with the same talent.
Mhm.
So Skinner's my other guy. He has a couple of chances against Pittsburgh. He had a couple of chances against Toronto. He had one goal against Toronto, and then he's been really solid this year. And he needs to be solid to earn that contract. I don't think he's going to score 40 goals again because when you're playing with Jack Eichel, you're going to get a lot of goals. But now that he's gone, I would be happy with like 25, 30 goal season out of him.
Yeah.
So
And I was going to say, I thought that he was injured last year. And I know that they like benched him for a while.
well, I don't know what
I
Ralph
don't
Kruger
know.
has against that man. I had no idea.
I don't know, but you know what? I would be on the next flight out of Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, Ralph.
That's so messed up. But I'm glad that there's, obviously they have the new coach and it's seemingly better system.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they're just trying to redo this rebuild again. I'm calling it rebuild 2.0 because the last 5 to 7 years have been awful. Like you see, everyone who watches hockey knows how bad the series have been, but as a fan, I'm watching it firsthand, so I know more stuff than not a lot of people know about. Like it was just, I'm not even kidding you. Last year was probably out of the last 10 years of Sabres hockey, that was the worst year of Sabres hockey than the last 10. Like before when I got drafted, before Reinhart got drafted, like at least those teams had players who were playing hard. But last year you have the talent, you just never got the results. So
right.
I'm just glad you saw me last year's pleading for Rob Kruger to get fired.
You led that campaigin to fire.
I wish I had the billboard or the whatever it was still here, but I remember like waking up that morning. I had like so many text messages and messages like, "Hey, Kruger got fired."
I'm pretty sure I texted you as soon as I found out because I was like, "This means nothing to me, but this means everything to Zach."
Yeah. It was such a breath of fresh air too. Like now, even this team now, it's this team. I think they're like 7-6-2 or something like that. They have 7 wins and 6 losses. I know that, but like you can just tell a difference. Like they're playing hard every night. Yes, they're getting outworked in some games, but let's be honest, you're not going to be on your best every single game of the season. It's a long season. It's an 82-game season. So, but that was my goal this year, was just to have them be watchable. And it was looking bad in November, but even though they lost those games at the beginning of the month, they were still playing hard. Like that Toronto game, they're losing 3-1. Like last year, team does not come back from that deficit, and just seeing them battle back against Toronto
one
was
of the best teams.
Yeah, and it's just too bad that they lost on such a great shot by Morgan Riley, but like hit the crossbar, came back out, landed, and then went into that. So that's just bad luck right there. But
that's just like Sabres luck.
Yeah, exactly. Like no one else would have that luck except for the Sabres. Terrible. I hate it. Yeah, but I just wanted them to be watchable, and obviously it's still early. We all know what's been going on with the Sabres the last few years after November, December, January, February. So I wouldn't say that I'm hopeful, but I'm really encouraged right now. Obviously, there's a lot's going to happen between now and April. So we'll see what happens, but I like the Sabres so far. They're I mean, obviously I'm in love with them be my team, but they're just watchable again, and that's all I could ever ask for.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now I have a question. Do you still have your season tickets?
No, we don't.
You guys,
yeah, we just couldn't do it anymore.
I don't blame you because why are you going to pay the salaries of these front office hooligans?
Yeah,
who aren't doing their job.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love my team, but you need to cut me some stuff. Well, I'm not a fake fan. I shouldn't say I didn't own them, but my parents had season tickets through the terrible years, like through before Eichel, before Reinhart, and even like with Eichel and Reinhart, they still didn't do anything. It was just the same old hockey, like starting off pretty good and then just going downhill after that. So we just couldn't do anymore, and we're like, until and it was terrible not being there for every single game. I love going to games. I love going to the home opener, and not being able to go this year or last year for that matter with COVID was really tough. But until they start showing me something different, we're not going to go back there until. I mean, we obviously go to games here and there, but we're not going to like spend our hard-earned money for that team
for a package. Yeah. So instead of watching the NHL, I have another Buffalo team that is pretty good at hockey that I think you should maybe attend a game. The Buffalo Beauts. You did. You worked one of the games.
I did.
You did. Yeah. So I'm hoping to get myself to Buffalo. I think it's in February.
February.
Yeah,
I think you said
February.
earlier. February.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to get there and obviously hoping to meet you and
Of course.
and Ty, the little beagle.
Ty's upstairs right now, so he's not here right now.
But thank you so much for jumping on today.
Thank you for having me. Oh, we're going to do the predictions for the game?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Predictions. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to say 3-2 Flames in overtime.
I'll be happy with a point, I guess, against one of the best teams. Who's in that for the Flames today? Markstrom? Or is he not playing there anymore?
I think it's Markey. I retweeted the lines earlier. It should be Markstrom.
Well, I hate predicting the game because I want to jinx my own team. So
yeah, it's Markstrom.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I guess they can get to Markstrom then if they really put. I know I'm not like saying he's a bad goalie, but I feel like they could like get to some goals on him. Unless if the Sabres win this game today, there's going to be a couple things that need to happen. Number one, stay out of the box. Again, cliche, but it's true.
It is true.
The penalty kill has been really good this year. I think they're like top 10 in the NHL, so that's a good thing. The power play, on the other hand, has not been so good. And that's because Victor Olsson's out with an injury and he hasn't been on the ice for a couple weeks. So, oh man, I don't know. I think whoever wins, it's going to be a 4-3 score.
Oh, okay.
All right. I don't know. I'm not sure Tokarski will let that many goals in. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I do think so.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be like a 2-1, 3-2 kind of.
Like that.
Even 3 goals seems unreasonable. But
we'll see what happens.
I don't know. It's going to be some true Daryl Sutter hockey out there tonight for sure. So thank you again, Zach. I appreciate you coming on. Please plug your work, your social media, your YouTube, whatever you feel the need.
Okay, well, as you can see on the screen right now, my Twitter name is right there, ZachJ_13. For my YouTube channel, like I said, I do a monthly YouTube channel with my buddy John. It's called the Blue and Gold Hockey Network. You can find us on YouTube. And we just pretty much talk Sabres for half an hour, however long it is. And it's like, we just want, because we're so, well, he's busy, but like, I got a new job now, so I'm probably busy now. So we're going to be doing monthly episodes, but that's on there. Let's see. I don't have anything else, but
Where
I do
can
want
we find your writing?
Oh yeah, well, okay, I didn't think about that. It's been a hectic week. It's been a hectic week. Couch Guy Sports. I work for Couch Guy Sports. My days are getting back to Tuesday and Thursday now, so any Tuesdays and Thursdays I'll be writing there. Speaking of Couch Guy, I just got another email, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, write for Couch Guy. Find me on Twitter, YouTube. I want to thank Jess for having me on today. I know she does a lot of work for this YouTube channel, or whatever. Lockdown Flames podcast. So it was definitely fun, and maybe we could talk again one day when the Sabres head to Calgary.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to have you back on, and it will be a blast. It's always fun talking to you.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Go Bills.
That's fair. Who do they play? Who do they play this weekend?
They play Indianapolis on Sunday, and then they play on Thanksgiving night against New Orleans.
Ooh, okay. All right. Well, they don't compare. Actually, I was going to say they don't compare to my Cowboys, but they're kind of better than the Cowboys. But yes, thank you all so much for tuning in to Locked On Flames, and I will catch you tomorrow with a Bruins Flames preview mashup with my group chat and some of my best friends on the internet. So catch you then.